The maestro, Mike Guide, will hold up the 4 fingers, and that means to form up in rows of 4. All right, Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. It's time to get up on your feet. From turn 4 to turn 1, up on your feet. I want you to wave your hat, wave your kid, wave your program. Just don't spill your beer when they come back around. As they're rolling down the back straightaway here for the first time at the Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. Ladies and gentlemen, by the grace of God, it's 600 horsepower, rolling on Hoosiers, fueled by Sunoco. It's the stars and cars of the Race of Champions Modified Series. 4 wide salute to you great race fans here at the Thompson Speedway. Fantastic job, everybody. Thank you for joining us here in person at the Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. And once again, good afternoon to everyone watching on Racing America, our proud streaming partner for the Race of Champions here in 2025. We the 9 headed for the Sunoco Racefields Go Fast Point. The maestro of the modifieds, Mike Guy. He's got the Blueprint Engines green flag at the ready. Ladies and gentlemen, listen for the roar out of turn 4. It's the Race of Champions Modified Series. Race of Champions 150 going green at Thompson. Down and away goes John McKennedy, and he's going to bring Matt Hirschman and Patrick Emmerling from that outside row into the top 3 spots down the back straightaway for the first time. It's McKennedy out in front. Hirschman, Emmerling, Williams, Beers, Jan Kodiak. Here on lap number 1, Ronnie Silk dropped a couple of spots down that opening circuit. Austin Beers now first car down on the bottom. He's going to slide back a couple of spots as Andy J enters the top 5 for the first time. Beers going to get side by side with Max Zackham. Zackham now dropped Beers back a spot. And Austin Beers dropped back to the number 7 position. McKennedy quickly breaking away from the field. Hirschman, Emmerling, and Ronnie Williams running 2, 3, and 4. Everybody quickly in a line here at the front of the field, although Emmerling now takes a look down to the inside of Hirschman down the front straightaway. Patrick Emmerling sweeping down low. Side by side, Emmerling, a 4-number winner here at Thompson just this season, picked up a victory. And Emmerling and Hirschman side by side out of turn 4, battling back to the stripe. 2 of the winningest drivers in series history battling for the second spot, and Emmerling's going to take over the position. Patrick, again, a 3-time series champion. And he's done it in a couple of different vehicles. His old L2 Autosport 07, the Advantage Motorsports number 14, which he won the Race of Champions 250 with, and now is partnered up with Jen Chadwick and Brian DiPasquale on this JDS Racing entry, as they've come into the sport over the last few years, a couple different drivers for them. And trouble out of turn 4, Max Zackham is spun. Zackham spins out of turn 4. We have our first caution just coming to the stripe to complete lap number 6. And Ronnie Silk is going to get tagged for contact on the 20 of Max Zackham. So the field will roll by the Silk number 16. Champion Series driver Max Zackham on pit road. Williams 4th, Jan Kowiak 5th, in Beers 6th. Now Initial start, the top 3 cars on the outside took off. We'll see what happens. Some roles reversed here, as it was Emmerling and Hirschman on the initial start, but they're now both on the inside. Back at it. And here's Ronnie Williams. He's going to try and hook onto the back bumper of McKennedy. Williams goes back to second. Emmerling third. Hirschman back to fourth. Austin Beers now up to fifth. Bonsignor in sixth. Andy J muscles his way up in front of Chris Pastriak to get back in line. As Williams now applying the pressure to McKennedy at the front of the field. Emmerling hangs back in third, then Hirschman, Beers, and Justin Bonsignor. Williams on the rear wheels of your race leader. Rear wheels of your race leader. That's a tongue twister. As Williams right up on the back of McKennedy. McKennedy leads the charge down the back straightaway. Williams right in behind him. .14 laps in the books. As Williams gets a little loose out of turn 2. He is really turning up the pressure, though, on your race leader. Maybe trying to push him here early on. Emmerling still hangs back a bit from third place. Matt Hirschman running in fourth. Austin Beers back in fifth. Justin Bonsignor sixth. Jan Kowiak, Pastriak, Jacob Chrisman, Kyle Bonsignor are your top 10 cars so far at this point. 16 laps in. Of course, McKennedy and Williams, top 2 in the tri-track point standings. I believe they have one more race to go this season. Out in front. 3 stalwarts of the Race of Champions series in Emmerling, Hirschman, and Beers. Max Zackham working his way back through the field after his spinning out of turn 4, just going by Jeffrey Battle to regain the 15th position for Zackham. Now Jack Ely jumps on the line here down the home stretch. Potential issues for the 81 of Mustache Jack. Ely slow, we're still green for the moment, keeping an eye on the 81. Jack was running in 14th, 15th place when something let it go on the 81 car. All right, and the caution is going to come out for Ely. Not sure if he has the momentum to come all the way back around. So caution for the Ely 81. Here with 19 laps complete. And adjustment. Riverhead Raceway. Once again, McKennedy, Beers, and just coming back for green with 25 about to go on the board here at Thompson. Back to the Sunoco Race Wheels Go Fast point. The Blueprint Engine's green flag is displayed once again. Andy J hangs back and to try and get quickly to the top side of the racetrack. Hirschman now gets second. As that second car in line on the outside always seems to have an advantage on these starts. It's Williams now trying to fight his way to the top side of the racetrack. He's pinned down there, though, with Justin Bonsignor to his outside. Williams, Bonsignor, Emmerling, Pastriak around Austin Beers. And here comes Kyle Bonsignor. Kyle gets clear of Austin Beers. As Austin Beers and Andy J lost a lot of spots on that restart. McKennedy leads, followed by Hirschman. Big money. Now official 2025 ROC Modified Champion. Picking up his first series championship in 10 years. But the 9th of his career. Here's Emmerling to the inside of Bonsignor. They'll go wheel to wheel. Off the 4th turn, Pat Emmerling and Justin Bonsignor are going to log some laps this afternoon. The 2 big modified races here today, and Emmerling will regain the number 4 spot. Pat also, along with Justin, ran the modified race last night, and Patrick also ran the late model race here last night as well, picking up a ride for that one. Of course, Pat does plenty of the full fender type of racing with the NASCAR Xfinity Series, but does have a few late model starts under his belt in his career. Most recently, before yesterday, I was going to say, saw him in a late model. It was actually during Race of Champions weekend at Lake Erie Speedway. Shook down a late model for one of the competitors that day. He is now running in fourth. Justin Bonsignor in fifth. Chris Pastriak is sixth. And it's Kyle Bonsignor, Ronnie Silk, and Austin Beers now back to the ninth position. Max Zachem currently rounds out the top 10. McKennedy has stormed away to a 3/4 second advantage over Matt Hirschman. Just past lap 30 here at Thompson. Bonsignor in fifth. Chris Pastriak just behind him. Chris does have 2 starts in the Race of Champions before today in 2017 and 2018. Family's familiar number 5 entry. He takes a look to the inside of Bonsignor here down the home stretch, just in front of Ronnie Silk. He's working his way back through the field. Here's Pastriak to the inside. There might have been some contact with Bonsignor. Pastriak takes a spot, and Ronnie Silk going to try and slip by as well, too. Silk to the inside of Bonsignor into 4. Silk goes full send into the third turn, and he slides up in front of Bonsignor to pick up another position. So Silk now back up to 6th. 34 laps complete. John McKennedy continues to show the way over Matt Hirschman and Ronnie Williams. They run second and third. Austin Beers now looking low on Kyle Bonsignor. Now Justin and Kyle running nose to tail just in front of Austin Beers, running 7th, 8th, and 9th at the moment. Jacob Crispin, Jeffrey Battle, wheel to wheel. Just behind Austin Koshnosh, the battle for 12th in the running order right now as Battle to the outside. And also Swanson getting around Crispin on the outside. Modified rookie Jacob Crispin there dropping back to the 14th position. Andy Jankowiak slows down the back straightaway. Problems for Andy Jankowiak in the 73, trying to hang on to third place in the series standings. Still on the track, but has lost a lap to the leaders. With 38 laps on the board, and Andy might be considering pulling off. Battle to Bonsignor's now in turn 3. Kyle underneath Justin to pick up 8th or 7th place now. 8 goes to 7th, the 07 goes to 8th in the battle of the Bonsignors. Kyle picks up another spot. And this time by, it'll be 40 laps complete here in the Race of Champions 150. Jankowiak still on the racetrack, but off the pace. He's already dropped 1 lap to the leaders. And Andy kind of riding it out maybe for as long as he can. John McKennedy is being reeled in a little bit here at the front of the field by Matt Hirschman and Ronnie Williams. The gap is down to 0.4 of a second here at the front of the field as we close in on the 1/3 mark of this race. Here behind them, it's Ronnie Silk to the inside of Patrick Emmerling. That's for 4th place here out of turn 4. Silk and Emmerling going to go side by side. Silk on the bottom. He's going to slide by Emmerling, and Silk now back up to 4th after going tail on the initial caution period of this event. Ronnie Silk now into the 4th position. See if Silk can chase down the lead trio as they're coming up to put Darren Shear a lap down. Darren, again, one of 3 drivers that will have logged all 11 ROC events here in 2025. Along with Austin Beers and Jaden Harmon. Gap holds about 0.4 of a second from McKennedy back to Hirschman and Williams. And then you've got Ronnie Silk about 1.4 seconds behind the leader, but I think that top four is certainly tightening up, at least from judging by my eyes here as they come down the front straightaway with 45 laps complete. Kennedy has already logged the Outlaw Modified feature last night and the New England Super Modified feature this afternoon. Looking for his third win of the weekend on top of being today's pole sitter. He has now gained a couple of tenths on second place Matt Hirschman, but Silk has really reeled in Hirschman and Williams. Here's Ronnie Silk. He charges hard into turn 3, gets right up on the rear wheels of Williams now for third. Silk is right there. We'll take a peek to the inside out of turn 2. Does he set up for a run here down the backstretch? He'll stay in line for the moment. He'll run a half a lane lower than Williams. Now he'll tuck here out of turn 4, trying to get to the inside of the 50. Now gets up behind Williams. Silk is right there. As a couple more lap cars quickly coming up for the leaders could play into strategy. Jankowiak and Randall Richard, Andy J off the pace. Here's Silk now looking low down the front stretch for third. Silk to the inside in turn number 1. And Roddy Silk now back to the third spot. Racing number 16. And I think Jankowiak now is going to call it quits, unfortunately. Tough break for Andy J. Had a nice run in his qualifier. After just missing the top 6 in time trials, locked himself into the 7th starting spot by winning his qualifying race, but unfortunately his day going to end here just at the 1/3 mark. The leaders had just put lap 50 on the board. McKennedy, Hirschman, Silk, Williams, then Emmerling 5th. Chris Pastriak's all alone in 6th. Austin Beer 7th. Kyle Bonsimuir 8th. Justin Bonsimuir in 9th. And Max Zackamir top 10. And then it's a gap back to 11th place Jeffrey Battle. Again, we will have a break just past halfway for a fuel stop. As we're about 20 or so laps from that happening. And the top 3 have tightened up again once at the front of the field. That's McKennedy, Hirschman, and Silk running tightly out of turn number 2. Ronnie Williams has dropped back a bit. And he's going to fall into the clutches of Patrick Emmerling, potentially in the battle for 4th. Jacob Christman and Matt Swanson continue to battle for position. They've been on and off racing for that 12th spot. Again, Jacob, our series rookie of the year this year, missed the opening race of Mahoning. Kind of caught some people off guard when he showed up to our second race at Chemung with this ride, as his car owner had previously worked with Jaden Harmon. And Jacob has been a fixture with the series and the Modified since. But Jacob, no stranger to the Race of Champions family, as last season he finished second in both our Race of Champions Sportsman Modified and Superstock divisions. Just 2 of our other divisions we run events with, along with our 4-score 4-cylinder dash series, ROC 602 Sportsman Modifieds, late models, along with our 602 Dirt Sportsman series and our divisions at the Spencer Speedway. Chrisman and Goodale both got by Swanson, so Matt Swanson back to 14th now. Patrick Emmerling is now running in 4th, got by Ronnie Williams for the 4th position with 57 laps complete. Those 2, though, are a bit back of the top 3. They're a good 2 seconds behind 3rd place Ronnie Silk, as the leaders now driving into some heavier lap traffic as we close in on lap number 60. Here's Silk to the inside of Hirschman out of turn 4. Took a look. Now he'll fall back in line. Silk now trying to size up Hirschman as they come up on the low number 15. TJ Blow in the 15. He will drop a lap here with 60 laps now complete. Kennedy, Hirschman, Silk. Now we'll come up on Jaden Harmon and Darren Shearer here in a hurry as Kennedy continues to show the way, has led all 61 laps to this point. Silk, again, looking low out of turn 2. Doesn't show his full hand just yet. Now he'll go to the inside here in 3. He'll get even with Hirschman coming off the exit of turn 4. They have the lap car of Shearer, though, quickly coming up on him. Silk maybe realizing this, trying to get the pass of Hirschman in his pocket, but he can't get clear of the 60. The big red 60, as it's been called. Now he'll tuck in line so they can get around the Shearer machine. And now they got a little bit before they catch Jaden Harmon to put him one lap down. Kennedy, Hirschman, Silk, pretty much nose to tail now as they are coming up on Harmon. Caution down the back straightaway. Justin Bonsignor as Bonsignor spins off of turn 2 and reportedly contact with the 20 of Max Zackham. As caution out here with 64 laps complete. This will be interesting for the race strategy. Teams know they're going to get for Ronnie Silk in the 16. JBS Racing crew going to the right rear. Same for Austin Beers. Right front for Matt Hirschman. Silk is down and away. And it'll be Silk, Hirschman, McKennedy, Emmerling, Beers, then Goodale and Chrisman. So Ronnie Silk's going to win the race off of pit road and inherit the lead after John McPeter so lap dash. So Silk, Hirschman, McKennedy, Emmerling, Beers, Goodale, Chrisman, Williams, Harmon, and Kyle Bonsignor. Caution was a big break for Jaden Harmon, kept him on the lead lap. And we are coming back to the Blueprint Engines green flag with 70 laps complete, 5 from halfway. Here's Hirschman. He's going to try and do what cars on the inside have struggled on restarts to get that outside line car. He briefly got alongside Silk, but now falls into the clutches of Emmerling. But Silk pushes up big time, and Hirschman slides by. Matt Hirschman takes the lead with 71 complete. But here's Emmerling now. Emmerling also getting by Silk. It'll be Hirschman, Emmerling, Silk, McKennedy, Goodale in 5th as they streak down the back straightaway. Not sure what Silk again, pushing up a bit in turn 4. And now McKennedy looking to the inside of the 16 car. And McKennedy now back into the top 3. In the Christopher's Towing number 79. Hirschman, Emmerling, McKennedy, Silk, Goodale, Austin Beers, Williams, Kyle Bonsignor, Chrisman, Koshnosh, and Zackham. It was about in the top 10 or so. 2 laps shy of halfway. Silk now crosses up a bit out of turn 2 just in front of Goodale and Beers, who are side by side. Austin Beers trying to get back into the top 5 past Goodale. Now he cleared Goodale, and he's got to run down the front stretch. Again, Silk's got to push or something. That car is not getting off turn 4 at all. As Silk has been backing up. 3 wide now, down the back straightaway. Williams in the middle, Zackham on the inside. Silk is backing up on the outside. Is it something more than tires on the 16? Halfway this time by. Ronnie Silk may be an issue on the 16 car. Away from the lead, is now almost out of the top 10. And has been shaking up the field along the way as he slides backwards. Williams now to the inside of Goodale in turn 3 for 5th. Williams out, they touch tires in turn 4. Williams has the spot for the moment. Zackham behind him, Goodale on the outside. And you've got Kyle Bonsignor as now Williams slides up in front of Goodale. Zackham gets clear of him. Here's Bonsignor pulling out a line to the inside of Goodale down the back straightaway. 2 by 2, 2 rows deep now. 77 on the board. We'll be waiting for the call from race control for the fuel stop. Williams, Zackham, Bonsignor, as business has certainly picked up from the first 65 laps of this race to what we've seen just since we've gone back to green in these last 6-7 laps. I believe it'll be lap 80 will be the caution. And I believe I heard that from race control. Here's Zackham now, trying to get into the top 5 for the first time today, chasing Williams down the backstretch. Zackham trying to point the 20 car to the inside of Williams here through 3 and 4. He gets a little slideways out of 4. Williams hangs onto the spot. Zackham now has got to run to the inside and just gets up in front of Williams, and Ronnie Williams had to check up a bit, and Zackham almost didn't get clear out of turn 2. 80 laps going on the board. 70 to go. Koshosh and Chrisman nearly collide down the front stretch, and that causes Chrisman a spot to Justin Bonsignor. Yellow is out for the fuel break. This is for the fuel break, and the lap counter will freeze. Again, this caution is for the halfway fuel break. Lap counter will now be frozen until the race resumes under the green flag. Again, this is part of standard race procedure for this event. We always have a fuel stop past halfway, as our teams to keep the playing field fair and to help keep some of the equipment costs down. We don't do the live fuel stops. So they will come down, stop in their pit stall. They can only refuel. No adjustments, no tire changes. Cannot touch the car other than put fuel in it during this break. You cannot gain or lose positions on pit road also. How they come in is how they will go off. So we'll have 70 laps to go when we resume this event. Once again, this is the mandatory fuel stop. Fuel only during this break. Again, the 75th running of the Race of Champions, the second longest event in North American racing besides the Indianapolis 500. Of course, getting its start back at Langhorne in 1951. Hully Bunn, the inaugural winner. I believe that is a favorite trivia question of Kenny Schrader's, who won the first Race of Champions. 20 years at Langhorne, first dirt, then pavement. Right rear flat for Ronnie Silk. Maybe that's why he was backing up. So he will be allowed to change that tire. So race control will allow the Hate You Known racing team to change that right rear tire because it is flat. He has been approved by our race director to make that tire change during this stop. After Langhorne, the Race of Champions went to Trenton, New Jersey for a handful of years from 1972 to 1976. And Matt Hirschman also, the first two more than his son Mike leading. That now makes clear. stands out, so it might be a little more. Darren Shear inside. The caution is now 5th alongside Ronnie Williams, Kyle Bonsignor, Eric Goodale, Jeffrey Battle, and Austin Koshnosh are your top 10 as we're headed back to the Sunoco Race Fields Go Fast Points. The Blueprint Engines green flag back in the air with 70 to go at Thompson. Emmerling will go after Hirschman here on the restart. We've seen Emmerling hang back, but Emmerling going to try and make go for it. Austin Beers goes to 3rd past McKennedy. Williams trying to clear Zackham for 5th. Hirschman out in front. Emmerling rides in 2nd. Whoa, trouble on the front straightaway. Battle and Goodale started that. Bonsignor is going to wind up in the wall. Randall Richard also involved, and I think Jacob Chrisman also, as they stacked up here on the front straightaway. Battle has some definite damage on the rear of the 19 car. Goodale comes to the attention of his crew. They go to work on the left front of the 58. They cannot lose. Going to make the left hand of the race. Williams comes to his pit stall first. They're going to the left rear of the 50 car. Hirschman, Beers, McKennedy, all left rear going on for Emmerling. Right rear for Hirschman. He took a right front on the previous start. Left rear for the 9 of Austin Beers. Right front for McKennedy. Looks like right rear for Pastriak. Ronnie Silk down and away. Hirschman's going to win the race off pit road. Then Emmerling, McKennedy, Kyle Bonsignor, Beers, and Silk. So Ronnie Silk gets a bit of a break here. So the cars that Silk, Williams, Zacko. I believe everybody's on the lead lap. That's currently on the racetrack except for Shear. Shear will be down 2 still. Coming back to the Blueprint Engines green flag with 89 complete. This time Emmerling will choose to get in line on the outside and not challenge Hirschman. Kyle Bonsignor now going to move to the 3rd spot. Now Ronnie Silk. A redemption. Bit of redemption for Silk now. He's gone back once for a penalty. Had a flat tire. And is now trying to come back through the field. Another time, he's now in 4th behind Kyle Bonsignor. McKennedy 5th. Zackham and Beer side by side for 6th and 7th. Here's Silk, bonds out of the bottom in turn 3. He'll slide up in front of Bonsignor. Bonsignor on the crossover though. Cannot regain the 3rd spot. And Ronnie Silk now back into the top 3. 60 laps to go. It's Hirschman and Emmerling leading the charge. Silk is 3rd. Kyle Bonsignor and McKennedy 4th and 5th. Beers now to the inside of Zackham, trying to gain the 6th spot back. Beers trying to muscle his way past Max Zackham. McKennedy now to the inside of Kyle Bonsignor going into turn 1. Can't clear him with the slider. Now he does. He nearly got the left front of Bonsignor in turn 2. Now McKennedy clears to take over 4th. But it's Hirschman and Emmerling out in front. 12 ROC Series championships between them. 10 wins in the Race of Champions event between these two drivers. And 2 of the top 3 winningest drivers in series history going at it. Hirschman and Emmerling out in front. 93 are on the board. Ronnie Silk is in 3rd. About a second behind Hirschman, but he's closing in. Hirschman down the back straightaway with Emmerling in tow. Emmerling tightens up on the back bumper of the Bar Harbor Bank and Trust number 60. We'll take a peek to the inside out of turn 4. Silk back in 3rd. McKennedy, Bonsignor, Beers are top 6. Silk trying to reel in the lead duo, trying to get up there and make this a three-way battle once again. He did it earlier in the event, driving up from third to battle for second. Heading down the back straightaway. Hirschman, Emmerling, Silk, your top three. Silk has taken a couple of tenths off the leaders here over these last couple of laps, as closing in on the 100th lap of this event. Emmerling now trying to look to the inside of Hirschman out of turn 4, trying to set up for that inside lane run out of 4 and down the front stretch as Silk continues to close in on these two cars. Silk has just about caught the lead duo now. He's made up about a half a second on these two cars. With 99 complete, this is the 100th lap of the Race of Champions 150. Silk trying to catch Hirschman and Emmerling. I was saying earlier today, just happened to ask Matt, how many wins do you have? And Matt, being the good student of motorsports history that he is, told me he has a whole sheet on his computer. He has 272 wins to his credit in his career. 64 of those with the Race of Champions series. Emmerling and Silk right behind Hirschman. The top three now separated by about 3/4 of a second. Inside 50 to go. Austin Beers and now Kyle Bonsignor side by side as Austin Beers trying to get back into the top 5. So tucked back in line behind the 8 of Bonsignor. Ronnie Williams just behind them in the 50 car. Beers again bringing back the familiar family Beers Racing number 9 paint scheme with the blue and orange numeral. His dad ran that paint scheme when he won at Oswego in this event. Austin had been running a 19 car with a similar paint scheme, and he's going to go bonsai to the inside of Bonsignor here in 3 and 4. They might have touched Hoosier tires in turn 4. Beers trying to clear Kyle Bonsignor for the 5th spot. And this time he's got the spot out of turn 2. Austin Beers now back into 5th. Here's Williams now trying to do the same thing to Bonsignor. Williams now looking low on Bonsignor through 3 and 4. You saw Beers do it, trying to do the same. 45 laps to go. Silk now has made it a 3-car battle here at the front of the field. He is now on the back bumper of Patrick Emmerling. And the leaders have a couple of lap cars laying ahead with 44 to go in Richard and TJ Blow. Randall Richard will lay over, wrapping up another season on the Race of Champions trail. And Blow now will lay over as he gets the move over flag from Mike Guide. And your top 3 will now get some clear racetrack ahead of them once again. Hirschman, Emmerling, and Ronnie Silk. 1, 2, and 3. All 3 of these drivers have been victorious at Thompson at one time or another in their careers. .109 laps are complete. Here's Emily looking to the inside of Hirschman, as it'll be 40 to go when they come back around. Still eyeing the inside of Emmerling. Does Patrick play defense or offense here with 40 to go? For now he's content to stay in between the 60 and the 16 car. McKennedy back and forth, well off the pace of the leaders. He's 4 seconds behind this, straight away behind the leaders. Austin Beers in 5th is now pulled away from Williams and Kyle Bonsignor. Chris Pastriak, Max Zackum, and Matt Swanson are your top 10, with Austin Koshnosh and Jake Chrisman just outside the top 10. Those two drivers trying to earn a few more points this season with the Race of Champions Series. Chrisman and Koshnosh now side by side in 1 and 2, and Chrisman will clear Koshnosh. Jake Chrisman in his rookie season of modified competition. It's been a unique learning curve for Jacob and his team. This is a brand new team to modified racing, and it really showed at the Race of Champions 250 last month at Lake Erie Speedway. Jake literally said to me, we don't have a strategy because we've never done this before. We never run 250 laps before. So they were flying by the seat of their pants in that one. Today, just 150 laps for Jake. But him and Koshnosh, they started the day separated by 10 points for 4th in the standings. So Jacob trying to put some cars between himself and the 66 to gain one more spot in the final season standings for the Race of Champions Modified Series. And they might be able to gain something on Andy Jankowiak, as Andy J was one of the first cars to drop out of this race. He is going to finish 20th today. And trouble in turn 2. Randall Richard is in the wall here with 35 to go. Keep counting cautions until lap 125 at the Mahoning Valley Speedway. Put on, so they're going to use it. So, which corner will they choose? It's going to be a right rear for Williams, right rear for Ronnie Silk. Emmerling gets a right rear. Left rear for Hirschman. They've gone on a different little bit tire strategy. Beers is going to the right rear. And it looks to be a left rear for John McKennedy. Silk's team has been money on pit road, but it's Emmerling down and away first. Hirschman will just get out in front of Ronnie Silk, who gets out in front of McKennedy, then Beers. Jake Chrisman out 6th. He's a big gainer there. Chrisman came in 10th. He'll go out 6th. Williams went from 6th to 10th as he was pitted. Never so lap dash to the finish here. Into his inside. FX Cabrera pace truck back into the pits, coming back to the Sunoco Race Fuels Go Fast point. Tire spin. Blueprint Engines green flag is out. And Hirschman gets clear of Emmerling. Silk gonna push into Emmerling. Emmerling backs up on the outside. Here's McKennedy. Chrisman to 4th. Emmerling loses a ton on the restart. It's gonna be McKennedy and Silk side by side for 2nd. Up the banking they go. Here's McKennedy to the inside. Hirschman leads with 122 complete. Emmerling all the way back to 6th. Trouble for Austin Koshnosh. Koshnosh into the wall in turn 1. And this will most definitely get us to lap 125, where we'll freeze the lap counter. But an exciting restart there, as Hirschman went for it on the among Lake Erie and Emmerling into 2nd. Tradition and modified racing. Pace truck back into the friendly confines of the infield. The field rolling its way back to the Sunoco Race Fuels Go Fast point. They're going to stand out of turn 4. Trouble a bit for Silk and Bonsignor, as Silk has had some troubles on restarts today. Hirschman and McKennedy get clear. Chrisman to 3rd. Kyle Bonsignor 4th. And Emmerling quickly gets back to 5th, and he's going to go after Bonsignor for 4th. Emmerling's going to drop it low into 3. Gets the slider on Bonsignor, who's coming back on the crossover, but Emmerling's got 4th back. Emmerling's going to have to hustle here to reel the top 3 in, as it's Hirschman, McKennedy, and the rookie, Jacob Chrisman, running in 3rd, having an impressive afternoon. The driver out of Pennsylvania, Walnutport, Pennsylvania. Ronnie Silk is 5th, and Chris Pastriak now back up to the 6th position. Chris has been up and down through the field here throughout the day. So Pastriak running in 6th. He's got 2 8th place finishes in this event in his career. Looking to improve on that as he's now challenging Silk, trying to get into the top 5. 22 to go. Patrick Emmerling is about 2 seconds behind the leader, Matt Hirschman. He is chasing Jacob Christman down the back straightaway. As Hirschman gaps McKennedy by 7/10 of a second. Christman and Emmerling nose to tail, and Pastriak all over Ronnie Silk for 5th. As the 5 car looking over Silk. Here's Emmerling now looking to the inside of Christman. He slides the car into turn 1. That thing was just about drifting the JVS Racing entry as he tried to go to the inside of Christman, and it did not stick. I was talking to Patrick earlier today. When it's cold like this, the front tires have the ability to go sliding on you when you try to move like that here at Thompson. Kind of happened to him last night in the open Outlaw Modified race when him and Ronnie Williams really got together like on the opening lap. And that time again, he went sliding into turn 1, trying to get underneath Jacob Christman. Christman doing all he can to fend off the 3-time series champion. Emmerling's got to run down to the inside of Christman. Jacob up against the wall, but Emmerling now takes 3rd away. When they come back around, it'll be 17 to go. Hirschman is pulled away from McKennedy. Emmerling's going to need to hustle. He is 3 seconds back. He may need a caution to factor into the win today. As Hirschman looking for his 10th win in the Race of Champions and 65th overall in the series. McKennedy 2nd, Emmerling 3rd, Christman 4th. Silk has been fending off Pastriak for 5th. Then behind them, it's Kyle Bonsignor, Max Zachem, and Austin Beers battling for spot 7, 8, 9. Here's Beers to the inside of Zachem as they're 2 wide behind Kyle Bonsignor. Business picking up here as they nearly get together out of turn 4. Beers, he's stuck behind the Bonsignor machine. He cannot clear the Zachem ride because Bonsignor's right in front of him as Williams now pulls off in the 50 car. Zachem and Beers still side by side behind Kyle Bonsignor in the battle for 7th and 8th. 13 laps to go. Matt Hirschman leads John McKennedy by 8/10 of a second. Patrick Emmerling has gained a couple of tenths, but is still a long ways away from Matt Hirschman, nearly a straightaway behind. Beers and Zachem continue to go toe-to-toe for a position behind Bonsignor for that 8th spot. Beers, elbows up, battling with Zachem as both cars on the outer edge of control there coming off of turn 4. Beers trying to wrestle it away. Zachem, though, putting up a good fight. And again, has the 8 in front of him, which makes things extra difficult. They go side by side. Well, the Maestro's getting the Jazz hands out. 10 to go this time by for Matt Hirschman, looking for 10 wins in the Race of Champions. The Jazz hands in the air with 10 to go. Beers has cleared Zachem, although Zachem now comes back to the inside. He'll get into Beers to regain the spot. And Beers loses ground to that battle. Hirschman has gapped John McKennedy by over a second now. And Patrick Emmerling still has not really gained any ground as we're down to 9 to go. Some lap traffic may come into play, but it's all in the hands of big money. Matt Hirschman looking for his 10th win in the Race of Champions 150. Kennedy continues his stellar weekend, looking to finish in second. as the laps start to wind down with the 2 wins already under his belt this weekend and a potential second year if he can hang on for 7 more laps. Hirschman puts another lap on Darren Shear. Some smoke coming out of McKennedy, off the left rear of John McKennedy's car. Is that just tire smoke or something more? And I think that's out of the header pipes in the 79. So McKennedy might be trying to hang on here for 5.5 more laps before that engine lets go. And race control trying to make the 79 team aware of their issues. 5 to go, and you can see it now. As McKennedy going to try and get this home to the finish and hang on for a runner-up spot. Hirschman now falling into the clutches of Ronnie Silk. As Silk now trying to go to the inside of Hirschman with 4 to go. Silk trying to get to the inside of Hirschman for the 4th position. Smoke continues to pour out of the header pipes of the McKennedy 79. 3 laps to go for Matt Hirschman. 3 lap cars lay ahead for the leader. As Matt Hirschman exits turn number 4, he'll see the parallel popsicle sticks. 2 to go for big money Matt Hirschman. Silk gets clear of Hirschman for the 4th spot. Down the back stretch, Matt Hirschman has 3 lap cars ahead, but he has got good advantage over McKennedy. Emmerling trying to catch McKennedy, but the white flag is out. Matt Hirschman out of turn 2 for the final time. He is going to put 2 hands up in the air because it'll be 10 career wins at the Race of Champions. For big money, Matt Hirschman, he's going to win the Race of Champions 150, and it's moved to Thompson Speedway. McKennedy holds on for 2nd. Emmerling for 3rd. Silk, Hirschman, Pastriak. Lane for yet another 14 times for this family, 10 for this man as he gets unbuckled inside the Bar Harbor Bank and Trust 60 machine. To the winner of the Race of Champions 150, Matt Hirschman. Matt, come on over. The wreath. Congratulations, my friend. 10 times now you've won this event. How did today's go for you?
I mean, really smooth, actually. Once early in the race, the 79 was real strong. 16 came on after going to the back. Knowing those guys are going to be really tough to beat here today. I mean, I give them credit. I think they're better at Thompson than I am, but I've been gaining ground on it. I mean, I had 2nd place with Tri-Track in October last year here, 2nd in August with the Wheel and Tour. So after being away for a long time, kind of hope I'm getting the knack of it and figuring it out a little bit, and pretty crazy. It's expected that we would win the Race of Champions at Lake Erie, which we did not, and I don't think we were the favorite here at Thompson today, but we pulled it off. So the race has just been incredible for my career. 10 wins, and it came at 4 different racetracks along the way. So I'm not done yet, but certainly having one for the other thumb is a good thing, knowing I'm kind of probably getting to the back 9 of my career. So I don't know how many more I can win, but I'll certainly try. But this one's extra special, I think, because again, I think it was a bigger challenge than some of the other ones were at tracks I was a little bit more familiar with and a little bit better at. So, great start to the day. I still got a shot for one more, and if we can build off of August, we should be in contention to win tonight as well.
How about the pit crew today? They've been huge for you this year at both the Tommy Tony races, and today they helped you get off pit road very quickly.
Yeah, real good pit stops, and keeping it up front was clean. I mean, one of the few mistakes, or maybe the only mistake I made all day, was I overshot my pit a little on the last stop, and we did come out second, but I'll own that one. But we were able to get a good restart and get back out front. But certainly being out front, and once we got to the front was helped. That was definitely key. And the 16 had some adversity, and at times he was maybe the fastest car, and then other times he was far from it. I just, that's some adversity they had to face. So, just really thankful for the whole team's effort here. I gotta thank Bar Harbor Bank and Trust. We're in their area, at least getting close to it here. A lot of New Englanders here today. So I really appreciate their support coming on board this year. Just a lot of great people. Collier Trucking on here, William J. Ross, Bob Sargent, Long Island Mod Maniac. I said earlier this year I've got more great people helping me than ever, and we didn't win as many races this year, but the ones we did, there's some pretty damn good ones, and today Tops is right up on the top with that.
Go put your hands back on that Al Gerber Memorial Trophy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Matt Hirschman, winner of the Race of Champions 150. And on behalf of the Race of Champions, Zach Skotnicki going to present the Al Gerber Memorial Trophy for the 10th time to Matt Hirschman. Grab a word with our other top three finishers. John McKennedy coming home in second. Nice run, my friend. Although I'm sure you're just hoping it was going to last there for those last 10 laps or so. What was it like behind the wheel?
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty unique race. A lot of strategy came into it. A lot of coming and going, pit stops. It was a neat little format. A lot of fun. Guys did great. The guys in the pits were awesome again. All year they've been great. Big thanks to them. Just overall great weekend. We won the open race last night, won the super race today, and a second here with the ROC Race of Champions race. Pretty awesome weekend. Matt was just really good. He's one of the best, and I thought maybe we had a chance with him, maybe around 10, 12 to go. But I think we started losing a little bit of power there, and she started smoking. So luckily we were able to finish second, considering the circumstances. So thanks everyone for coming out, all my sponsors, my crew. I'm just excited to go home and get some sleep.
Yeah, it's been a busy weekend. Thank you for supporting the Race of Champions. It's been great to have you racing with us, John.
Yeah, no, it was a great time, and I'll see you guys next year.
John McKennedy, runner-up today in the Race of Champions 150 with the Christopher's Towing number 79. And coming home in third today, Patrick Emmerling. Pat, nice run today, my